Hello and welcome to the down dog on the wall or couch tutorial. So you might be able to tell that it's looking a little bit more claustrophobic in here than usual. We've moved our couch back just to be able to demonstrate this move, down dog on the wall. So it's this move where we get upside down on the wall. We're on our hand to promote lengthening and strengthening. As you can imagine, we don't always do a whole lot of weight bearing through our arms, let alone getting upside down in that position. So this is a great way to practice getting upside down in a safe, stable way that in a lot of ways is even more challenging than handstand and super effective at lengthening your back. So I'm going to give demonstration for both the couch and for doing it on the wall. I'll say for the couch, if you're very new to this, first time building up a down dog or any kind of inversion practice, this will be really helpful in the beginning for building your strength and finding more stability on that couch. Like we usually do though, we're just gonna wanna reset our body before we do this move, down dog on the wall, and give ourselves as much success as possible by tapping into the core. So come onto your back, and just like always, we'll take a block in between the legs. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. You're gonna press into the feet and extend those hips. So it's more important that we get a little hip extension, glutes working here. Let's lift and lower the pelvis and get a little squeeze into the block. So we're just doing a little bit of hip extension. And while we're extending the hips here, let's get a little wrist stretch. So if we're gonna be weight bearing on those wrists, I just want to give you a little opportunity to open up the wrists, to get a little bit of movement into them. Again, we usually have our wrists flexed, so just getting them into this extended position with the palm up towards the ceiling, very beneficial. Release your first wrist, circle it a few times, let it speak to you. It might literally be making lots of noises, that's fine. Let's pull back on that. Right fingers and shine that palm up to the ceiling. And you can slow your pulses down. So we'll just hold that hip extension here. Keep squeezing into the block. Really feel your feet connect into the ground. Release the wrist, circle it a few times. Take the block out, and we're gonna move the block off to the side, maybe come a little bit lower. Bring your arms down by your side, bring your right knee over your right hip. So we're gonna march in our little bridge here. Right foot comes down and left leg comes up. That left foot comes down, the right leg comes up. So we're marching here, getting this firepower into the glutes, feeling that tailbone root. And we're just bringing the knee over top of the hip, letting it pause there. So right now we're just activating iliopsoas, getting ourselves a little bit of space in the hip flexors, a position we are definitely going to find ourselves in while we are doing this down dog on the wall. One more time with the left foot. And let's bring that left foot down, then lower all the way down. Think upper, middle, and lower back comes all the way down onto the ground. Take your hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. So again, we want to get lots of support to the back of the neck, let it really ease up into the hands. When you pull your elbows in nice and close, it's just a nice way to really shore up those shoulders coming off the ground. Big inhale, gather it up. Exhale and lift, gather together. Shoulders come up, your sacrum is connected to the ground, you're rooting your tailbone. Try and relax your neck into your hands. So your neck will not really be working much for you in down dog on the wall, so we're gonna have to relax here. Inhale and lower. Exhale and lift, gather together, shoulder blades come up. Look at where your leg bones plug into your hip sockets and see if you can look there and lift up a little bit higher. So try to keep the neck relaxed and spine as long. Inhale and lower. Exhale and lift, gather together, shoulder blades come up. Neck stays long here. Now let's take a little twist to the right. So we start off the right shoulder blade. We just lighten up these obliques a little. We're gonna want them fired up for down dog on the wall. Come back through center and lower, inhale. Exhale and lift, gather together, twist to the left. So twist to the left, stay off that left shoulder blade, powerful here, good. Come through center and lower. Let's add our two moves together. So exhale and lift, twist to the right, bring your right knee over your right hip. It's like what we did in bridge, but we just have that right knee over the right hip now. Right foot comes down, come back through center, then inhale and lower. Exhale and lift, gather together. Left knee comes over the left hip, twist to the right. Step that right shoulder blade. Don't let that left leg get too close to your right elbow. Come back through center, left foot comes down, inhale and lower, then come around onto hands and knees. And we're gonna come up to our first down dog because we're gonna wanna feel a lot of these same principles when we get all the way upside down. So know that down dog on the wall is really not too different from down dog. All the same things will be in place. We'll have the head of the arm bone centered. We'll have our shoulder blades supporting us in back ribs. Core is going to be lifting us up, giving us support. We're going to find a lot of space in the hip flexors. So from your all fours position, quadruped, Let those palms press to the ground. Feel the shoulder blades on the back ribs. Take an exhale. Lift your belly button up and into that back line of the body, and then lift your throat into the back of the neck. As you hoist your pelvis up towards the ceiling, you want to find that downward facing dog. So you can lower the knees there for a moment, and then just feel that out. Hands are under the shoulders. Take another inhale. As you exhale, draw the front line of the body into the back line of the body, and now just hover the knees. So we're hovering the knees. Continue to press in the hands. Feel a little spread of the shoulder blades. Now hoist your pelvis up. So this is how much power we want to feel these arms working in that down dog on the wall. Take one more breath with me here. Stay for the exhale. Again, maybe bend the knees a little bit more. Think of scooping your low ribs in and pressing your hands more. Really activate those shoulders. Knees come down, and we'll take our down dog on the wall. So we'll find our all fours position. And if you have a couch or a step available, or even one of those risers, you can use anything. The big idea though, is that whatever you're bringing your legs up against, make sure it's really firm. So it's not gonna move on you. See, mine just scooted back a little bit. I'm glad I checked it. All right, so first we sit down and face that object. We're gonna take our legs up. You can have a little bend in the knees. It's more important that the spine feel long and stacked. Hips, shoulders, skull. So there might be a little bend into the knees, but the feet are touching the object we're going upside down on. Hands come by your side. So measure out how far away your hips are with your legs touching that object you're going up against. We'll flip it around. Hands stay in the same spot, but they kind of change places as we turn around and face the floor. Then you'll get your feet like up near that thing that you're going to be coming up against. So I've got like a narrow couch armrest here. So my feet will kind of be stacking up on top of each other. That's okay. Again, in our quadruped, let's exhale, feel the front line of the body, pull into the back line of the body, push in your hands, feel a spread of the shoulder blades, hover your knees, and then start to hoist your pelvis up. Now here, we're gonna push and step one foot up onto the edge of that thing you're coming up on. So if you're coming up onto like a chair or a step, just make sure you're not like really far back on it, collapsing the chest, but that you're all the way up on the edge of that object. Push in your hands, feel your low ribs lift, relax your neck. Big inhale and exhale. Big inhale and exhale. Let's go one more. We got it. Inhale. Stay for the exhale. Then come down. Now you're going to want to shake out those wrists, maybe roll the shoulders back a couple of times. Good job. So stick with the couch. All the same instructions. Going to show you how it works on the wall. It's very much the same. You can imagine though, there's a little bit more demand for the upper body to have to hold the legs pressing into the wall. There's also a little bit more requirement of the back line of the body feeling lengthened and long enough. So know that sometimes it's about flexibility, and that will come over time as we continue to strengthen. Down dog on the wall is actually a great move to practice, or on the couch, to get the back line more open, more quickly, and more effectively. Bring your hands by your side, feet up against that wall. Again, little bend in my knees, okay. I'm more concerned about my upper body, how it's stacking. Same exact thing. Flip it around, palms on the ground. Feet come all the way against this wall. Now from here, again, I'm gonna exhale for the front line of the body, pull in the back line of the body, already start to push into my hands, and then hover the knees and hoist your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Now really feel your leg bones, your femur bones. These leg bones are drawing up high into that hip socket, and begin to walk your feet up the wall, one at a time there, and you extend those legs. You can play with it. Make sure they're not too high. That's often what I see. People get those legs up really, really high. So I'd say bend your knees more. Try to get in line with your hips. Maybe try to extend a little bit more. One more breath. And if you're not staying up for those full 3 breaths, that's okay. This is a lot of muscle endurance. So we just want to work this slowly, one at a time. We'll go with it one more time. After you've done a few times, you might just kind of start to get more familiar with where your hands go. My block is also just kind of telling me where my hands were before. So we can try one more, and we'll just show some of the variations we can throw in here. So again, push those hands, spread the shoulders, lift the front line into the back line, hoist the pelvis up, and then walk those feet on up. As you extend the legs, you can lower one at a time, but keep that foot on the floor. That'll help open up the posterior chain. You're doing that hip flexion. So that's another great option, just to add a little bit to it. So come on down again, shake out those shoulders. Feel free to do any other little like chest openers. It can feel good to get your one arm out in front of you. So my shoulder is touching the wall. I just reach my arm forward a little bit. So I spread my scapula, reach it up and then bring that elbow down and press your forearm against the wall. It's a great way to open up the chest after this. And stay for a few breaths before switching sides. So I'll go through it one more time. You'll have your hand out in front, shoulders touching the wall, and then spread your shoulder blades. So protract the scapula, then reach it up like you have a question and pull that left elbow down. Press your forearm into the wall and breathe space into that left pack. All right, and bring it on down. Again, feel free to take that for a few more seconds, but I hope that this helps clear up down dog on the wall or down dog on the couch for you. Remember, get after it every day. This is a move, you can't get enough of it. You do it every single day. Try to increase your breath by half a breath every single time. You'll be amazed at how fast you go. All right, as always, for lighten me, lighten you. Namaste.